Hi everyone, it's Jen here with another video for you. It is raining quite a bit out there this evening, and so I thought it would be a nice time to make a dark and cozy video with the rain in the background, and just to share with you what's been going on over the past several months. Also, I thought I would light some candles and some other sparkling lighting. So I've got my little Halloween lights to get there, and I think you can see hopefully the little pumpkin lights which I stuck inside my little stand up there. And then I have this sparkling light. So in my Halloween haul video, I mentioned briefly that I'm no longer in Boston. I've now moved to Lake Powell. Lake Powell is inside the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area, and it is basically straddles the Arizona-Utah border. So I started working here in January, so shortly after I started uploading again, when I had gone back to Boston, I was offered a position out here, and here I am. So first couple of months I was at Lake Powell. I actually was in Arizona, working in Page, Arizona. Just getting to know the job, doing a little training, that sort of thing. And then in April, I moved up to Utah, moved up to the Utah side. So I'm here now. I've been at Lake Powell on the Utah side since April, and this is October I'm filming in. So. And I have a little friend joining me here. This is Princess. Hi, Princess. So this is Princess. Princess is a rescue kitty. She's about 10 years old. Come here. She's about 10 years old, and she was living in a warehouse in Moab. And they got her new director at the warehouse, and they were going to put the cat to sleep because she has irritable bowel syndrome and she vomits quite a bit. So I rescued her from that fate, and then I started feeding her probiotics, and she is not nearly the peeker she used to be. So that's good. So her name's Princess, and she's my pal now. She's a very affectionate cat. I'm very curious. So I once again abandoned YouTube for several months. I think the last time I uploaded a video was like 9 months ago, and it's like I always intend to make videos. It just never quite happens. And then I realized recently that now that I'm in a new apartment, and it's actually pretty nice size and everything, I could actually set up right on this space here and do videos. And during the day I have lots of pretty good natural light coming in here. So I'm hoping now to spend my weekends that I'm not going to town shopping for groceries, making some videos. So that's what I've been up to. So I'm just going to light some candles. These are the two I showed in my earlier video. Put this one over there. I like this. I actually got this little, it's like a stained glass votive holder. I got this in Page, Arizona. There's a nice little thrift shop there I went shopping at many times. Let's see. So it's pretty exciting being at Lake Powell. It's a very different experience than my Yellowstone experience. It's a marina here, basically Lake Powell. People come to here to recreate on the water. So there's a lot of boating. People own their own boats or they come and rent boats here at the lake itself. And it's very remote. I am 3.5 hours from Grand Junction, Colorado, about 3 hours from Price, Utah. Those are the closest locations that have a Walmart, which is where I try and go shopping. But our Schwann's comes every payday, the Schwann's truck, so their food's kind of expensive. Like, just for an example, I think I paid like $16.99 for a 5-pound bag of boneless chicken breast, frozen boneless chicken breast, and I think a 5-pound bag for the same thing at Walmart would cost me $10. However, a trip to Walmart cost me probably like at least $75 in fuel, plus almost a 7-hour round trip essentially. And that's not including the actual time being at Walmart. That's just the driving time. So Schwann's actually works out pretty well. And a lot of this stuff's actually pretty good quality. So I was impressed with that. But when I do go to town, I buy as much stuff as I can to bring back with me. I haven't bought a stand-up freezer. I'm thinking about getting one, so I can limit my trips to town, but at the same time it's nice to just get away occasionally. Alright, so let's see. This is actually a candle that I bought. You can barely see it in this light. This is a candle I bought on my trip to Park City this past weekend. I had some vacation time to use, so I went to Park City in Utah. And I did a lot of shopping while I was there. So this candle here is called, let's see, Warm Tobacco Pipe. I love the smell of it. It actually smells like one of my perfumes. It's a Tom Ford perfume called Tobacco Vanille. And it smells incredible. So I went to Park City, and I'm going to light that one later. That one lights actually quite a bit, so light this one. Move some of these back a bit. Burnt my finger on that one. So I went to Park City for 3 nights. It's about 4.5 to 5 hour drive from where I am, and I've been there before. It's it's very nice there. It's a ski resort area, and I don't ski at all. Not interested in any kind of snow sports or being anywhere near snow. But in the fall, it's actually a very nice place to visit. Lots of places to shop, restaurants, etc. And there's a lot of art galleries which I like to go visit. And then I stopped in Provo, Orem to actually go to Trader Joe's, which was great. And Whole Foods is in, so there's a Trader Joe's in Orem, and there is a Whole Foods in Park City itself. So there's not a whole, there's just a small scattering of things that I like to get at Whole Foods. Cheese, but actually I picked up quite a bit of cheese from Trader Joe's, and then also on my way back to Lake Powell, I stopped in a town called Midway, where there's like a big cheese shop, like a dairy farm that sells cheese. So I picked up all kinds of cheeses there. And, and I picked up, I wish I'd bought so much more. I picked up a pound of local beef. I'm assuming it's from their own farm. It could have been maybe another nearby farm, but it was like $5 a pound. So you figure I normally pay around $3 a pound for beef in those chubs that you get from Walmart. So I thought $5 a pound for local beef, that's a pretty good deal. And I brought that home and I made burgers with it, and it tasted absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really kicking myself for not buying like an entire cooler's worth of beef. But next time I go up there, I'll probably do that. So one of the things I'm trying to decide now is I have some PTO time to use up over the next 12 weeks, like until the end of the year. And I just want to be able to get some doctor's appointments and the dentist and the eye doctor and everything out of the way. And of course, since I have to travel so far to do that, I usually would stay overnight. So I'm thinking what I might do is go back that way. Because it's like probably an extra hour drive from going to Grand Junction, like versus going to Grand Junction. However, the Provo Orem area just has so much more stuff, like stores and just everything else. So it might be worth the extra couple of hours drive to go that way. Plus, driving that route, you drive on US 6. And US 6 is just really incredibly beautiful, even after the enormous amount of fire damage that's occurred mostly on one side of US 6. So I actually got lucky last week when I went up, because US 6 was actually closed for a while through the Spanish Fork area on US 6 in Utah because of wildfire that had jumped over the road, over the highway. And actually, so on US 6, it's the same route that the Amtrak train takes from going up to Utah into Salt Lake City. That's the train coming from Denver, which all of a sudden now I can't remember the name of that train, but I think it's the California, it's California something, I think. But that train, I'm kind of curious as to what happened a couple of days. The freeway was closed. I wonder if like Amtrak and all the various freight that would run on those tracks would also have been prevented from traveling as well. So US 6 was closed, and it reopened a couple of days before I was headed up there. And honestly, even with a lot of the scalded and scorched areas, still beautiful, beautiful road. I don't think I'd want to drive it in the late winter though, as its elevation's pretty high, so it would be, we'd get a lot of snow, I'm sure. Let's just drop this one in. Oh, I blew it out. Okay. I thought I was being clever. Alright, so there's those. So I actually should have gotten little tea lights for this, because with the votive it's almost like too tall. If I had a tea light in here that only came up to about this height, it would like send out so much reflective light, and you see all like the little stained glass. So it looks actually better with the tea light in it. I know I've got some around, I just need to dig them up. I love the sound of the rain. We don't get a lot of rain here, but it's been raining quite a bit, like the last several days off and on. It makes quite a change from pretty much the entire summer has been 90 degree weather almost every single day, 95, sometimes 105. So it's nice to have a little more cool weather, finally. And the one thing I liked about going to Park City as opposed to Grand Junction is that it was like 20 degrees cooler than it is here at Lake Powell, where when I go to Grand Junction, usually the temperature is virtually the same. Okay, and this is the last candle I dug up. It's a bit misshapen. It's a bit misshapen, but it throws off a lot of light. The way it glows. It's one of those party light candles. I actually got this candle, I want to say, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, when one of my mother's neighbors had thrown a party light party. And I got this candle there, and then for 4 years it basically sat in a box, and then I dug it out and took it with me. It's pretty cool. I like the way it lights up the entire inside of the candle. Once it heats up and the wax really starts melting, this entire piece of the candle is like very pliable. I'm sorry, I'm not a very consistent YouTuber. Actually, before I left for Arizona last year, I had made another video. It's a teddy bear video, or the stuffed animals video, which I'm going to try and edit, and so hopefully that will actually be posted before this one does. I really like this. I got this at, pretty sure I got this at a TJ Maxx store. So I used to have another one. I used to have one about this size. And one of my mother's cats knocked it off the table and it broke. So there are lots of great places to visit near Lake Powell. I'm about 2 hours from Capitol Reef National Park, which is one of, I think over the course of time has really become one of my favorite parks, and I think a lot of it is so very different from where I'm living. So where I'm living is like very dry, and there's hardly any trees, and everything's red. All the red rocks, or blue. The water is very blue. But Capitol Reef is green, so very green. And Capitol Reef used to be it was settled by Mormons who planted all these fruit orchards there. So there's all kinds of fruit growing there, and the National Park Service continues to maintain the orchards, and you can go in there in season and pick your own fruit from the trees. And if you're just picking it to eat right then and there, you don't have to pay anything. But if you're picking it to take away, then it's like by the pound. And I think the last time I was there, apples were in season, and they were selling for $1 a pound. So it's very, very nominal price. However, some of the fruit I've eaten there, like I ate some peaches there, and those were really good, but the apples, I did not like them at all. They were kind of not very sweet, and kind of almost mealy tasting, and I don't know if maybe they were overripe, or just, it's probably just some type of apple that's not really the kind of thing that's sold in the grocery stores anymore. Of course, all of the fruit that we eat nowadays, the sugar level in the fruit has been really amped up to an extraordinary degree by the way that agriculture, modern agriculture, has sweetened everything. So, and then in Moab, which actually is one of my favorite little towns, there's Arches National Park, which I did not go to this summer. I've been there before. I didn't go this summer because, honestly, Moab is very expensive to stay in during the summer. And the park, like, if you didn't get there first thing in the morning, it would be very crowded. But I'm definitely planning on going there this winter, and hopefully there'll be a lot less people around. And then, let's see, Arches, oh yeah, and then Canyonlands National Park is not far from there either. And then about 2 months ago, actually probably not even 2 months ago, I went to Durango, Colorado, in Silverton, Colorado for a couple of days, and that was really great town as well. And that was probably about 4 or 5 hours from here too. Oh, and then of course Monument Valley is about 2 hours from me, and Monument Valley just happens to be on, like, if I'm driving back to Page for any reason, because that's where our corporate office is located. I drive through Monument Valley, which is just amazing. I really like this light. So anyway, that is my update. And if you like this video and you've never seen me before, I hope you'll subscribe and hit the like button. And I guess what's the new thing that everybody needs to do now? Hit the bell for notifications about new videos. And hopefully once you do that, it won't be 9 months before the next one. So, good night, my friends.